Alright. So, now we're to where stuff starts to get fun. Losing control of the car, but also recovering at the same time. I should probably also turn it down just a bit. Actually, yeah, let me do that. There we go. Just so we can hear a little bit better. So what I'm going to do is, I actually have to position this for the camera. There we are. So what we're going to directly focus on is going through a turn too sharp and counter steering, which is just a normal recovery. I'm actually going to leave in a second. So all I'm going to do in this turn, off the throttle, straighten up the wheel. Now I'm going to cover things more one by one. So what I did there, let me stop. So basically what I did there is I stomped on the throttle while I was in the turn. And I'll actually catch some more speed next time so you show that I am losing traction in the rear tires as I'm in the turn. And in order for the car to keep going straight, we are moving the car around the tires. It's a very hard concept, and people say you steer with the throttle, because technically your front wheels never turn. It's a very confusing way to describe it at first, but it is true, and I'm going to attempt to show you with video after the fact. And actually, you can probably kind of tell from the last video when I was doing donuts, the tires were always aiming. Even though we were turning the wheel to the right, we turn the wheel to the right. If the car's back end is going off to the right, the wheels are staying straight. We have to keep the wheels straight and steer us. They still steer us, no matter what. The back tires are the ones losing grip. So I'm actually going to go through again. I should get some speed this time. Just take the turn. And stomp on the throttle a bit. Now, you're not going to do it perfectly, but kind of get the feel of what it's going to do. Actually, let me emulate kind of what it's going to do when you try to do it your first time. Unless you do actually catch yourself. You're probably going to do this and say, oh my god, we're drifting, and then you're going to spin out. And then you're going to end up straight and say, well, how the fuck did that happen? Well, you held the wheel to the right. One of the big things along with this of breaking traction when you're in a turn, this would be more of a power slide, I guess. One of the big things is if you don't catch yourself, that's going to happen. Basically what happened there is I forgot to straighten up the wheel outside of the turn. So as you're practicing getting the back end to kick out, let off the throttle and straighten up the wheel. And kind of see how it snaps back into place. If you do not straighten up the wheel, you're going to get flung off track, like, immediately. And we don't want that happening. So, again, we're going to take our turn off throttle, because if you stay on the throttle, too much juice is going to flip you around pretty damn fast. And if we don't want that, we want to learn how to drift, not spin out. Spinning out and going crazy was last episode. So just completely let off throttle and straighten up the wheel. You're going to ease the wheel straight as the car is straightening up. Because if you don't, those front tires are going to fully get grip again. Or all four tires are going to get grip, and it's going to steer you right off the track. I'll do it one more time to kind of show what happens. So anyone's doing this and they're trying to emulate what I'm doing, that's the reason why I'll do exactly that. I'm trying to remember all the issues that I originally had. Another issue I had, so when I say let off throttle, that's to get you to straighten up the wheel. Once you start getting used to straightening up the wheel, it'll become second nature with drifting, but once you are getting used to it, going out of turn, go on the throttle. Like, just stomp it out of the turn. As soon as the car starts straightening up, get on it. That is another thing that's very good to do. That'll help with transitions, and it'll get you the fuck out of the way of other people trying to drift. And that's just a little courtesy thing. That was a normal drift. That's my bad. But this is kind of just what we're going to focus on is... Actually, let's hit up the oval. I don't know how well the camera's going to catch this, so I will try my hardest. See if it will. The oval was very good for it, though. You're basically going to take a turn way too tight. And these tires are really aired up, so they will slip pretty easily. But you're going to turn in early, and you're going to oversteer on it. You're going to turn in so hard, but make sure you have speed when you turn in. And then let off the throttle. And then counter steer with it and straighten up. So basically it's going to be left. Oh, whoop, nope. Understeer. I need to do it sooner. So you're going to go up with a little bit of speed. Left. Nope. My throttle is back in the second. There we go. Alright, that's going to be a jump cut. Jesus. Alright, so you're going to let off the throttle, steer to the right, straighten it up. Let me try this again. Going to put it to the left, let off the throttle, counter steer to the right, straighten it up. This will be very good to get you used to doing it. And after you're used to doing this, which is just kicking the car out, this is like an initiation that's a little bit late, but if you do it early, it's basically drifting without any power. Or what we call an e-drift, but you're not using e-brake. It'd be like an inertia drift, actually. So without actually using too much power. And you can really stomp on it in the beginning if you need to get the tires broken loose. Depends how fast you're going. If you do it too much, though, again, you might not be able to save yourself, and it's going to be pretty wide angle. So once you get used to that, the next thing you can really try the next thing that you can really try is holding throttle throughout the turn. And this is going to be learning throttle control. I kind of screwed that up. I initiated way too early. It's my bad. So you're going to do that same turn in. Instead of letting off throttle, hold it. Hold it. And then kind of see if you spin out. Let me show you what happens if you just max out throttle the entire time. You're going to go very wide. You're going to spin out. And you might not go wide, but you're most likely going to spin out again. So you can go half throttle and see if that'll do it. That's what happens, again, if you do the full throttle. Play around with it a bit. See what you're used to. Go in early. Counter steer to the right. About half throttle. It does not show half throttle on mine. Do what feels like half throttle. Try to modulate it. Give it more gas, gives you more angle. Let off, will let you straighten up a bit. Play around with it. So go into your turn, give it throttle. I'm going to have to let go there because that was a lot. But just keep playing around with it. See what it does. And eventually you'll be able to do something like this. And this car is, it requires actual skill to kind of drift this car, but it's very good for learning because the simpler stuff is still doable on it. Let me see if I can actually get a full lap in using all the things I just taught. Straighten up. Alright, so without the transitions this time, actually. Let off throttle because I'm going way too fast. Need to cut off some angle. On the throttle and straighten it up. Do it again. On throttle. Nope. I lost all my wheel speed just picked up, or my traction picked up again. So I was going too fast. Kind of hold throttle, straighten it up. Straightening up the wheel is just one of my biggest things that I never did when I was learning. And it took me forever to figure that out on my own. And one of the things that really helped me is the Drift Bible, and they'll kind of talk about some of this stuff. But for now, I guess this is going to kind of be it on this portion. Next portion, I'm going to talk about other techniques to kind of initiate a drift. When you're doing from transition to initiation, I'm going to teach you kind of how to hold speed and how to initiate without using handbrake. My handbrake is currently not valid for my current setup, so I'm going to have to live without it. I could use buttons on the steering wheel, but I do not think I'm going to do that. So, anyways, in the next episode, transitions and other types of initiations and entries.